Feeling, huh?
And in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another episode of the Dense Thinkers Podcast. We are coming to you live from undisclosed locations to discuss not being a little bitch, not being soft, how to harden yourself up in a world that wants you to have a safe space. Our brain seeks comfort, which is why it will prevent you from achieving your greatest self. That is why we must always seek discomfort in order to evolve. If you are comfortable, you are complacent. Therefore, you will not evolve as a person and you will not reach the best version of yourself. Boom! Ben, what do you think about that?
It's real simple. It's a real simple equation. Comfort is the enemy. Unless one is actively aware and consciously thinking about how the comfort serves them, if it doesn't serve you, then it's working against you. Who are you going to feed? Are you going to feed the side of you that wants to propel and become the greatest version of yourself that you can be? Or are you going to feed the other side? The side that says, no, that sounds pretty hard. That sounds very intimidating. That sounds like it's going to take a lot of energy. Let's just relax today. Let's just sleep in. Let's stay inside. Let's eat all this yummy bad food and watch TV. This is good. You know, you have those two sides. It's almost like the angel and the devil on your shoulder, if you want to use that analogy. And they're speaking to you. And who are you going to listen to?
Who are you going to listen to indeed, Ben? You're going to listen to yourself. Everyone's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. You just don't want to seek discomfort. You know what you need to do, but it's the hard thing to do. You've got to put down them drugs. You got to put down that alcohol. You got to put down chasing every piece of tail you see. You've got to become a savage, dialed in, understanding your mind. You've got to enrich your mind through reading and intellectual activities, learning to manipulate your moves in a proper manner. You've got to walk with intention. Because the man who doesn't have direction is heading for destruction.
Boom.
Okay? You've got to...
That is right.
Let's see. Ben, you go ahead, dude. You go ahead. Because I can just keep spitting things out.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's stop for a second, everybody, and reflect. Let's take a moment and be Tao and be here right now. What did Ryan just say? He said, if you're not pursuing and growing, if you are, you could say, stagnating by not improving, you are feeding destruction. You are destroying potential. You know, there's only so much time that you have in this life, in this very short life, and time is disappearing quickly. One should act with a certain anxiety, as funny as it is, to interpreting how much time you think you have, not taking it with like, oh, I have all this time in the world to make these changes. You're only in your teenage years, your 20s. No, wake up! Don't fall into the system, Neo. You're sleeping right now. That's what's going on. You're falling asleep at the wheel, and you're headed towards the cliff.
Exactly.
Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to drive off the cliff? Well, you better know how to fly. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to fly is to get high. Just kidding. We're going to talk about good habits. We're going to talk about ways in which you can keep the strengthen the quote-unquote angel on the shoulder, and what to do and how to do the opposite, just so you know what to stay away from, because it's good to identify the and have very clear boundaries. So let's talk about good habits, Ryan. That's a good place to start, huh?
Yes. But before we get there, I just want to touch one more thing upon what you said. You know, it's so true. Time does not stop for anyone. You do not have unlimited time. I mean, in this world, who says you are to be happy? When you came out into this cruel world, no one said you were to be happy. Everyone is seeking happiness, and then they're depressed and they're like, oh my god, I got some disease. It's part of life. Things happen. And you cannot stop and be depressed and be in your bed and be like, I can't go because this bad thing happened. We must always walk forward. If anything happens in daily life that is absolutely soul-crushing, the best thing you can do is walk forward. Sure, you can be depressed. Who says you can't? Depression is what makes happiness all the more worth it. To have this idea that you're going to be in this constant state of happiness is ridiculous. That's why you must always propel yourself forward. Time does not stop for anyone. So if you want to sit around and feel sorry for yourself, you need to form good habits where you do these things every single day, no matter what happens. If you have habits, you have direction. You know what you're going to do. If I say I'm going to go for a walk and then my cat dies, you think I'm still not going to go for my walk just because a cat died? I don't have a cat, so who knows? But
the analogy, that's a good analogy though, if you think about it deeply enough.
yeah, so yeah, you need to always propel forward, one step forward, because if you're not moving forward, you're moving nowhere. And time will not stop for you. It doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about anyone on this planet. It will continue moving forward, so you need to utilize your time as precious as it is gold. You know, it's like people will never not miss a day of work. They will always be on work on time. They will always show up, but they won't show up for themselves. When they're like, "Oh, I need to start eating healthier," and then they don't, and then they skip a day, or they do this or they do that. But when it comes to work, when it comes for working for someone else, they're on time every time. Going to work, they're like, "Oh, I must go to work. I must go to work." But when it comes to working for themselves, there's nothing. So that's
they feel like they're exhausted.
Yeah. And it's like, that's how you want to become the best version of yourself. You've got to work for yourself. You've got to be as committed as you are to your workplace or your school or whatever it is. If you're able to go to work every single day, you're able to do a lot of things for yourself. So let's get on to the habits, huh? What kind of habits are you thinking is going to make someone's life much better?
Well, you said something, and I want to add to it because I feel like it's a little bit more intense than what people think. It's not that if you aren't making progress, you're just standing still. The only constant is change, people. That's it. Nothing ever stands still. Time is constantly moving. Change in time is change. That's the only thing that's happening. So if you're not progressing, then you're actually going backwards. If you even if you think like, that's fine, like I read, a few pages of a book or whatever last week, like I'm so good. It's like, no, you're not good because it's been a few weeks since you've read, so that mind muscle is not getting worked out. It's going backwards. So I'm going to keep that in people's head that you need to form a structure. You need to have a schedule of like constantly doing stuff to constantly be improving, or else you're constantly, I'm going to make this word up, de-improving. The strongest of all warriors are these two. Are you ready? This is a Leo Tolstoy quote. Time and patience. I think patience is a big one here because a lot of people, especially with our generations, don't want to sound like a boomer, but they want things now. They want to just, where are my results? I'm gonna jump on steroids at the gym because I don't see results in the first week of working out. It's like, where's the patience gone, people?
Exactly. And a lot of people need to understand this term, which is compounded interest. You need to incorporate habits into your life that you're not going to see instant results. You may not see results today, tomorrow, the next week, but compounded interest works over time. 1% better every day. It's like if you want to, you have no problem scrolling on Instagram for a full hour. But when it comes to reading 10 pages of a intellectual book, a self-help, finance, philosophy book, that will help you in your life and improve your life, you put it off. The compounded interest works like this. You read 10 pages and you go, 10 pages every day. And you go, oh, that's not that many pages, right? But over a year, you've read 3,650 pages, equivalent to 12 to 24 books that will improve your life. And people aren't willing to put that little amount of time on, but are willing to go on TikTok and scroll on there for hours at a time. Hours. This is where structure and habits will make you a savage. Because you add all these little tasks in. You're working out a little bit. You can work out 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week and see a significant improvement in 6 months. But I don't feel good on the first day, so it probably doesn't work. Life doesn't work like that. It needs to be a reoccurring habits that give you that compounded interest over time.
Yes, I agree. And to not think about it, it's really the best way to do that kind of stuff, whether it's reading or working out or doing or any sort of practice for the betterment of a skill or whatever, is to not even think about it in terms of stop thinking every day I'm at level 1 or I'm at level 2 and I need to do this much. Tell that side of your brain to shut up and just do it. The more you do it and the less you think about how long you've been doing it, will help you, because before you know it, then you'll be at the, oh my God, I've been doing this for a year and look how far I've come. You kind of have to switch on this mode in your brain that's not constantly trying to figure out and analyze time commitment, this and that, and all of these things. But okay, let's talk about let's bring it back, huh?
They bring it back.
We're talking about good practices, kind of daily things, like a daily checklist, you could say. And we're always working on this. So, if you guys have more to contribute, please do, because we're looking for the perfect amalgamation of a daily schedule, So what I have is that, arguably the most important thing is good sleep. Good sleep is going to help keep your brain and help keep your functioning self the highest it can be. Your immune system is running good, so you won't get sick, as you can tell, I have been. It will literally clean your mind of all the toxins and stresses of the day. So the less sleep you get, you think about sleep is for the weak and that stupid quote. You're literally just building toxins in your brain that are destroying your brain, and eventually you actually do end up with, severe diseases like Alzheimer's and whatnot. So sleep, very important. That's the number one thing. The morning is, I would say, arguably the most important part of the day. It's how you start is how you finish. So we're talking about morning meditation, some light stretching, some exposure to the sun, some salt water, some cold exposure too, a nice little wake-up call with a minute or two of a cold shower just to get you in that discomfort zone, to get you to wake up. Eating clean is always good. What do you think so far? I don't want to keep just listing off things. I want you to, we want to talk about one of these things just to talk about them.
Yeah, well, it's back to the compounded interest thing. You do all these small things and you'll get great results over time. So incorporating these small habits every day are going to have a greater improvement over your life. And it's people who aren't doing things like meditation or stretching, all these things, they're just going to improve your life overall. So it's about adding small habits in that don't take much time, that give you great results over a long period of time. Instead of just putting all of these tasks in one day, slowly incorporate them, see what works, see what doesn't work, but it all takes time at the end of the day.
Yes, it does. Well, how do you feel about in terms of people saying there's not enough time in the morning to do all these things? I mean, you don't have to, the things I'm listing aren't that big of a time thing. Waking up, doing a cold shower, no one's doing cold showers for 10 minutes. Go take a 2-minute cold shower, a 1-minute cold shower. That immediately will wake you up and actually help you, be faster at the rest of your morning routine. Sun exposure, just go outside and stretch for 5 minutes, not even. Just get the body moving. Do a little bit of light exercise. Just wake up and do, after the cold shower and whatever you want to do, like 25 push-ups. That's it. Get blood flowing. Get the muscles warming up, moving, waking up. You're trying to wake up the body so that you're awake faster. You're not sleepwalking through your morning. And that's already like half the thing's done. That's your little exercise and stretching. So a little bit of yoga, your shower, your cold shower, sun exposure. Like boom, that's an amazing start to the morning. And all under 10 minutes for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's like the people who say they don't have the time have the excuse mentality. If you want to do something, you will do it. If you don't have the time, wake up earlier. Go to sleep earlier. Stop the relaxation time where you have 3 hours of relaxation time. It's ridiculous. You don't need to watch a full season of a show a day or scroll on Instagram for these mindless activities. If you truly want to become a better version of yourself, you need to, like I was saying before about going to work, if you're not willing to go to work for yourself, where it's like you go in 9 to 5 and you're working all day, and then you want to relax all day, you're not going to progress. You're going to stay in this job. Your skills aren't going to improve outside of that. So we need to stop this excuse mindset. If you want to achieve things in this life, you need to believe in yourself and you need to put in the time and the work. So if that means getting up an hour earlier, I really don't see a problem with that. The things you can do in an hour is actually remarkable when you don't waste any time.
Tell us about your hour.
My hour? Well, here's what I do. In a full hour, I go outside. I do my Wim Hof breathing. I do 4 rounds of that. I then drink 32 ounces of water with Shilajit, hydrogen tablets, sea salt, all these nutrients to get straight into my body, hydrate right away. And then I shoot 12 arrows. And this is going to warm up my mind, going to warm up my body, get me ready and focused for the day ahead. Next, I'm going to have breakfast, and with my breakfast, I'm going to read 10 pages of a book, get my 10 pages in, and then I play a game of chess. That gets my strategizing brain on, gets me focused, and it's a little fun activity that's also, I guess, an intellectual activity as well. And a cold shower after that. And all of that is done in an hour. I get my breath work, some kind of physical activity, my breakfast, hydration, cold shower, and something a little fun. All in an hour.
It's more than some people do in a day.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like you can utilize your time as much as you want. And I think
How bad do you want it?
Yeah, that's the problem is the instant gratification, right? Is people just want things now. So it's like they do it for one day and then they don't see the results. There's a good story I can tell you, Ben. It's a long one, but I'll make it short. There's 2 frogs. Okay, and
His name is gay because he drank the water.
Yeah, so they they jump into a pail of milk, a small bucket of milk. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. This is the most delicious milk I've ever had. So they drink to their full, and then they're full, and they go to sleep. They wake up, and they realize that they drank too much, and now they can't get out of the milk. So the 2 frogs, they swim around and around and around, and they're trying to get out. And one of them goes, we're not going to get out of here. And he just gives up and sinks to the bottom. Now the other frog, he keeps swimming around, and all of a sudden, he feels something hard below his feet. His little frog flippers. And he stands on it, and he's able to hop out. Now what happened there? What happened was, because he was swimming around so hard and fast, he churned the milk into butter. And there was a small clump of butter he was able to climb out and get out of that bucket. Now the other person just gave up. When
I thought you were going to say the bump was the other frog dead.
Okay, that'll be a little darker, huh? Yeah, but that's the compounded interest. You know, you don't give up, you keep going, and you'll have some rewards at the end that you may not even think are possible at the beginning.
or I like that also another side of that is that you might not even be seeing like how much of an accumulation of reward is building through your work because it sounds like the frog is seeing what's happening below the milk because milk is not transparent. So he's not even seeing what's happening, but things are happening. There are invisible things at work that you're not even fully aware of that are improvements to your lives. You know, people might not think that reading 10 pages a day is going to do anything because that's nothing, or they feel like, oh, if I play a chess game or if I work on only certain technical exercises for guitar every day for 10 minutes and that's it, that nothing's going to happen. But there's a lot of things that are building at the same time. What I've realized is there's so many elements of life that are connected that if you do something, it's bound to make you honestly better at like maybe several things that you didn't even think were related. You know what I mean? So it's just having a little bit more optimism about what you're doing, trusting that it is good for. I mean, it is good for you. Listen to yourself, talk to yourself. Have like this is also on my list, like meditation and self reflection. Like, be honest, at least once a week. Like today's my day to do it. I sit down. I'm going to sit down for an hour later today, and I just have an honest conversation with myself. It's almost like you're trying to talk to God, if you will. That's your thing is you're trying to talk to the inner God within you and listen and see like where are you. Orient yourself. Did you do good this week? Do you feel like you did good? Where did you do good? Where did you do bad? How can you improve? What do you want to do to improve? And then and execute. You know what I mean? So it's just the feed. It's again going back to the main topic of discussion for this podcast is just feeding the right side of you, the good side of you, as opposed to the bad. Are you going to feed the last man and get on TikTok and Instagram because it's instant, dopamine, instant gratification, or are you going to achieve something greater? You're going to pick up that book that you do want to read. It's not like these are things that some of these things you don't want to do. You do want to do them. But your brain, that little monkey in your brain that wants the dopamine is just like, yeah, but look at this post on Instagram or TikTok. It's way, haha, you'll get a funny laugh for a second. And then, it's going to want you to scroll for another hour to get the same little funny laugh. So.
Exactly. You've got to listen to your instincts. I feel like everyone's heads are so flooded with all this stimulus that they're unable to tap into their inner selves. So listening to your instincts is really important. Having your daily tasks that you do every single day, which will multiply over time, and give you discipline. Discipline is so important. The other thing I want to touch on is following your word. I think your word is the only thing that you have in this world. Everything else is fleeting, can leave you, can go away, but you always have your word. When you say you're gonna do something, do it, because this is the thing. When you have these daily habits, and then you go, oh, I don't feel like going to the gym today. I don't feel like going on that walk. I don't feel like reading the 10 pages. That will negatively impact you in nearly all aspects of your life. If you're unable to listen to yourself, how do you expect anyone else to respect or have to listen to you? You have to be honest with yourself, listen to your own word, and when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And that will give you a confidence in itself. Because confidence comes from achieving things that you set out to do, having having indefatigability. You're ceaselessly going after your tasks that no one can stop. If it's raining outside, I'm going for my walk. I say I'm going to walk 30 minutes a day. I don't care if it's a tornado outside. I'm going to walk. You think the weather's going to stop me? I can't control the weather. But what I can do is control my habits and what I do every single day.
You may not be able to control the weather, but Bill Gates sure can.
That bastard.
Dude, I really, you know what? That point really struck me hard. That I think is that should be like the second or maybe the main focus of this podcast is like listening, like literally being honest with yourself and taking your own word as law. Try this if you haven't tried this before. Not just you, but obviously, I mean, you do it, but anyone that's listening, any one of the one or two people that are listening, try sitting down and vocalizing and saying an assertion like, today I say this out, like say it out loud. I will read 10 pages today. I will journal about my week. I will make a plan to, learn code. Whatever it is, it's amazing what happens when you vocalize it into the universe. You're literally bringing a metaphysical thing, that's an idea which is existing in your head. It's not real in the sense of like this water bottle. It doesn't weigh anything. There's no physical whatever. But then when you speak it with your vocal cords and you turn it into sound vibration, physical energy into the universe, it changes. Like I really, when I say things out loud, I'm like, holy shit, that's it, And to go back to your point about like your word is your bond, yeah, a man is only worth as much as his word. If he's honest and he's truthful and he's a warrior of the truth and his truth, then he is much more respected. He can do more, and conquer more of himself and whatever he wants to do. So I think that is a very good point. Is like, be honest with yourself, be truthful, hold yourself accountable, because nobody else is, as you said earlier. Nobody else is holding you accountable for what you want to do besides you. As Nietzsche says, the man who cannot govern himself will be governed by others. And you are a man. Man is ungovernable. Mm-hmm. So I like that point. That's a strong ending point for the podcast, is to have more self-respect for yourself and to adhere to what you say.
Yeah, because your words have power. And that's something people need to realize. That the things you speak out into the world, you need to follow. You need to actually believe if you want to have confidence in who you are and what you want to become. If I say, you call me a name, I'm going to knock you out, and then I don't, my words hold no weight anymore. I have to do the action that I said. So if I set out and I say, I'm going to work out every day, I'm going to read 10 pages every day, I'm going to do this and that and this will all help me in my life, and I'm going to do it every day, you will build great confidence in your own abilities and what you're able to achieve. If you're not able to achieve what you say, then you're going to have a lack of confidence in your abilities and yourself, and other people will be able to see that as well. You need to walk with your chest back, your head high, and believe in the things that you say, and don't just say things just to say them. Say what's on your mind unapologetically. Not because you want to have the approval of others, but be who you are. If you want to be confident in yourself.
There's some Sunday motivation for the week right there, baby.
Yeah. Don't give a damn, bro, about what other people think.
Just what you think.
Exactly.
I have my final givings for this podcast is one of my favorite quotes from our Russian boy Fyodor Dostoevsky. Your worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. Think about that when you're on TikTok. Think about that when you're doing last man activities, when you're watching shows or whatever, that you are betraying and destroying yourself for nothing. These aren't things that are building you up to become a greater person. Not saying you can't enjoy things, but be at least aware and conscious of the time you're giving to those things, to the inner shadow, to the inner last man.
Yeah,
because if you don't, then they'll take you over.
Yeah, fill your time with high value activities and reap those rewards. Walk through the darkness until you see that cinder at the end, and throw sticks and logs onto it until it becomes a roaring fire.
And burn the Erd Tree with the fire and become the great Elden Lord.
Well, this has been a great little conversation we've had here, Ben. I say we wrap it up. We're going to incorporate a lot of these things, and we hope that other people do as well. We're becoming savages. We're becoming great men. We're living with honor in an age of dishonor and fakery. We're being real.
Right. Rise above, people.
Walk through this world with confidence, not cowering like a little bitch.
That's it. Dense thinkers out, huh?
Yeah, dense thinkers out. Gang gang.